Hello. Are we live?
Yes, I think
Excellent.
we are live. Or sometimes it takes a little while to load, so I'm not even sure. But
I don't even know
it says
either.
we are.
Hi,
Uh,
everyone.
Hi, everybody. Again, I feel like Dr. Nick when we do that. Today, what do we cover in Secret Sauce, Christy?
Oh, this amazing word, assertiveness. So good.
Now, this comes off the back of a couple of weeks on boundaries, and obviously everything that goes up to the point of boundaries. But boundaries is the big thing that almost everything up to that point has led to. A couple of weeks on that, and then last week we were talking about the different communication styles or the different profiles people have using the DISC model and why that was so important in setting us up for assertiveness, right?
Absolutely. Assertiveness is such a beautiful finisher when we're learning our boundaries and who we are and who we want to be and how we want others to show up in the world for us. Then it's so important that that flow of communicating effectively and learning our communication styles with everyone else's communication styles and how best we can show up in those interactions. Then assertiveness just finishes it so amazingly because we need that to be able to communicate and assert our boundaries so that we can have positive interactions, more positive interactions with people around us, and those deeper connections. So important, and that's all we want, really, isn't it? Especially as we get older, we're just really wanting those um,
Connect.
positive connections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing, and again, probably a lot of people here in Game Changers will experience this as well, is that often there is a misconstruction. I don't know what the word is there,
I'm
absent
not
of mind.
100% sure. It sounds good.
We'll run with that.
Yeah.
But there is a misnomer about what assertiveness is, and what often people receive that word as being or translated to is aggressive. The difference between being assertive and aggressive is pretty big, and so it's important that people are mindful of the difference there. And there were a couple of things that we discussed that are really important in going through it. We're not going to go through all of them here today,
No.
but the whole thing is being respectful, knowing who your audience is, so that you can have a good interaction with them. Which is why last week we obviously spent time on getting to know our different communication styles or our personality profiles, so we could find where common ground may be and apply that to have a better outcome. Because, of course, if you have the need to be assertive, it's because there is a need for change.
Mm,
It's because there is a need for our boundary.
yeah.
But if you're not good at doing it, it's not going to happen, or it's going to create even more tension than you started with, which is why most people often shy away from doing it in the first place.
Exactly.
So if you get armed with your ability to A, set a boundary, but B, be assertive and then consistent after that, you are going to find that things will change, because how we behave and treat others teaches others how to treat us.
100%. And we are 100% responsible for our own emotions and our opinions and actions and how we show up in those interactions, whether it's personally or professionally. And then what we learned today, what we talked about today was the points in how you can be more assertive. And when we find it difficult to say no, or when we start justifying ourselves and justifying our opinion, one of the key points that I love is if you're finding yourself justifying all the time why you're saying no, or why you're making a decision, or what your opinion is, then you're convincing yourself. You're not convincing the other person. When you start justifying, you lose so much power and respect. And it's such a conditioned behavior pattern to justify. And yeah, I just love talking about this subject because it is something that people do struggle with. And they, as you said, shy away from asserting and communicating because they're in the fear of conflict and arguments and differences of opinions not being heard. It's such a big part of our everyday lives, feeling fear about not communicating in the event that it's going to go poorly.
Well, it comes at the perfect time, though, for those who, are with us there, and those who may know in our Game Changers group here, it comes at the perfect time because of everything that we've been stacking up to the point of now covering these topics so that we can get those better outcomes. And it doesn't come without the work building to now.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. For all the reasons of where we've been, what we didn't know, how we talk to ourselves, etc., etc. It requires all of that work to be able to effectively do this.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of people maybe get inspired by a talk they hear, or they watch something on YouTube, or they've been to a live event and they haven't got all the backing to do this effectively. So they try it, it blows up into some kind of argument, fight, or even a falling out. And then they go, it doesn't work. And that's the greatest mistake anyone could ever make, is to try these things and then believe it doesn't work simply because it didn't for them in that instance. There's a reason that it didn't work. These fundamental trainings or learnings apply for a reason. It's just, what are the things that you built in yourself, in your person, leading up to that? What skills and knowledge did you have leading up to that? And if you don't have those, you're just making it harder for yourself to be able to do it. And if there is a need to do it, then you need to do it. So how are you going to go about doing that? You've got to do the work.
Yeah.
And a lot of it stems from stuff that's further down the line, like further down the line in you as a person and yourself.
Yeah.
So that you, when it gets to others, you're able to effectively do what you need to do. And in the case of being assertiveness, especially when it comes to boundaries, it's so important. Otherwise, no boundaries will be set.
No. And it really is I feel like it's the cog that kicks in to really propel that growth. Like, it's that next phase. And backing up what you were saying before with that just trying it without having the skills and the strategies of how to deal with the fallout, or how to deal with the hurdles, or how to deal with the standards, or when you're not in alignment with your own beliefs and values, how asserting a boundary is not going to work because your words and your actions aren't in alignment. I love the part that, the course that we've created is your A, B, C, D, it's your steps to get to this pinnacle point. It's not jumping from A to E. It's been designed specifically so that you have that course journey, that you're actually really learning who you are and who you want to be before that you assert these things and you communicate. And yeah, it's really, really important that that support is there along the way. And you've got then all these strategies to fall back on. It's so good.
Yeah. And we've got Vongai Monica saying, this is all very true. And you are right. I mean, thank you for sharing that for everyone here, because, none of this is avoidable in life. It's going to happen whether people, are assertive or set boundaries with you, or you're doing the same in kind. And so it's not something that we can avoid. It's going to occur for us one way or another. Our ability to set it the way that we would like it to be, assuming we're in our integrity and, not being a bit of an arse about things, means that we're always going to get a better outcome. And if it's not today, it'll be tomorrow when we try again, and our consistent ability to show up like that.
Yeah.
But we do need to do the work.
Yeah.
And if we're not prepared to do that, then everything else is just going to be that little bit harder. That's all.
Yeah. And it's mindset training. It's like it's funny how you wouldn't expect yourself to just jump on a bike and be able to do it. You don't expect yourself as your children or anyone around you that's a baby, you can't expect them to walk without crawling. So why do we have a different mindset on mindset? Like, mindset is a training. It is a process of growing the baby steps and getting those steps to be competent before moving to the next step. And that's what's so great about the secret sauce, is that we're building that competence along with the confidence to be who we want to be. And it's so important.
It's a game changer.
Exactly.
Funny.
Exactly.
So, and this is obviously the whole other question of why aren't we taught this in school? And we won't go into that conversation because that'll take us down a rabbit hole, something I'm very passionate about, as are you, Christy, and pretty much everyone in that group.
Yeah.
So with that, guys, that was what we covered today, assertiveness. Obviously, big topic, and it wraps up a bit of a milestone for what we're covering in Secret Sauce. We do have a new intake coming up at the end of August. If it's something that you are interested in just checking out, we do have a cool little offer for you. Reach out to Chrissy or I if that's something that you're interested in doing. We'd love to at least engage with you, invite you to come and check it out for a little bit. And you know, if you love it, then stick with it. If not, totally cool as well.
Yeah.
Our job is
If
to
you're
always
ready
bring
for
value.
change.
Yeah.
If you're ready for change, that's where you want to be. And even if you're not 100% sure what that looks like, then yeah, reach out to us.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. With that, have a fantastic day. See ya.
See you. Bye for now.